What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
How men fall in love, explained from a natural science perspective. This is a very interesting video, and I know you guys are going to think so as well. Let's get it.
Men don't fall in love through sex. They fall in love through the promises that they make and then keep to you. Now I'm about to give you a whole science lesson because you guys are out here getting it wrong and you're hurting yourself because of it. Now women do fall in love through sex. That's why whenever you hear someone like, oh no, it's going to be casual, I don't actually like him, like I'm going to be player two, biochemically that's really hard because we release oxytocin. Oxytocin is your bonding chemical.
You can't be a player the same way a man can be a player. I have to pause and explain this because this is the stuff that they don't want to hear. Being a 3 or 4 out here means that you're constantly falling in love with men who are taking you to Pound Town. Let's keep listening.
It's why you feel close after sex. It's why you feel close during cuddling. That's when we firing off that oxytocin like crazy when we're in love. It's why he was kind of okay at first and now you're like, he's literally a shit and I am so in love. Men release some levels of oxytocin after sex, but it's actually not what bonds them to someone. What bonds them to you, that commitment level, is vasopressin. So what happens in the beginning though, they are releasing testosterone. Testosterone is their pursue behavior. That's why, girlfriend, do whatever you want, but if you're wanting a guy to commit to you, sleeping with him in the beginning isn't the smartest thing to, because guess what? His levels of testosterone are the highest when pursuing, you get what you want, they just drop, which means right after sex, if it's in the beginning, he actually likes you less unless vasopressin is released. But men have to develop vasopressin receptors for that to happen, and those take time to build.
So the vasopressin is the chemical that allows men to grow attached to a woman.
Testosterone does not create commitment. To them, it peaks, dips, okay, now they have to go find that thing that peaks their testosterone again. They already got the conquest over there. Say men fall in love through the commitments they make and keep because this is more of a sign of a vasopressin release. The other sign of vasopressin release is mate guarding behavior. That is very much, these are my resources, you cannot have them because I care about them. This chemical takes time to develop, but it's also the reason if you keep sleeping with someone who treats you like shit, who keeps breaking their promises to you, who breaks their commitments to you, who does not seem to care to commit to you, the vasopressin is not going to be meant for you. You cannot sleep your way with a guy into making him care. That's not how it works. And it's going to work the reverse for you if you're a woman, because you are going to be releasing all this oxytocin and you're going to be the one going through that heartbreak. And that shit's going to suck.
All right, so there we go. So in short, what she basically said here is it takes men longer to chemically bond with the woman than it usually takes women. Because in most cases, as soon as a woman opens her legs to that man, she belongs to that man. She bonds with him. He has essentially won the mating dance. He has conquered her.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Drink the coffee. And then she explained that while men do also get that bonding chemical that women get, oxytocin, they don't get enough to bond them to the level where they get the same type of attachment to agree and pursue a serious relationship with that chick. What they do get is a drop in testosterone after they've busted those cheeks. And so what does that mean? Well, for a man, the most excitement he's going to get, unless a woman is able to give him a reason to stick around, the most excitement he's going to get with most women who are opening themselves sexually is the conquest of that man trying to smash that chick. And typically, after that's done, most women don't usually bring anything else to the table that is worth that man sticking around. That's a good question for a lot of chicks to ask themselves today is, what do I have other than sex? And if everybody's being honest with themselves, we all know this to be true. Women get attached after sex. They start giving you those googly eyes and start overstaying their welcome. And you as a man, you know how it feels like to finally hit and to sit there and kind of not really want the chick anymore. And you're kind of looking at her differently and you're like, well, that's done. That was fun. I wonder how long you're going to stay here before you get that Uber.
I love everything about coffee. It is one of my favorite things in life.
One of my favorite things in life. But listen, we're going to check out some of these comments because if you thought this video was telling, wait until you read these comments. How do you guys think these women responded to this information? Take a wild guess. How do you think they responded? Comment down below. See if you're right. What type of questions do you think they had? I'm going to read right here. This first comment says, so how do we cause this development and release to occur? So that's the first question this chick had. How would you guys think women would cause if you were to, talk to a woman you cared about and gave her some real advice? How do you think she would cause this to occur? Well, I think first off, you would avoid being a 304, right? Let's get that out of the way first. You'd avoid being a 304. Why? Because it clouds your judgment and you may think you're in love with the guy when actually you're just in love with the D. Now, the questions got worse. Like, for example, this chick who says, life is literally a sick joke. Laugh out loud. Why would it be like that? So again, you have women out here who just want to have fun, be in the streets, bouncing on joystick to joystick, hot girl summers, and they don't want to suffer the consequences. They don't like the consequences of being a woman, right? Which we all have consequences. Men do as well. Another woman responded and says, this response is so real. They're mad at reality. They're mad. They're mad they're mad at God, right? That's what this is. Rebellion to the utmost level. If they create it their way, there'll be no consequences. I think we're onto something here, man. If they want it their way, there'll be no consequences. Just fun. If women created the world, fun, vacations, best lives, just giggling and laughing, nothing will be getting done. No purpose to anything. Just a scary world where everybody's just laughing consistently and happiness. Anyways, here's another comment that says, I feel that it's because I just really feel like all of this. Hold on. She says, I feel that it's because I just really feel like all of this just sounds like a huge game. She thinks the science is a game, guys. She does not believe the chick who's talking to her about chemistry. She does not believe in natural science. It goes on to say, just sounds like a huge game. If a guy really wanted to be with you, he's not pulling this.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Right? If he really wanted you to be there, you wouldn't have to do anything. He would just be there. Are you effing kidding me? This has almost 150 likes. I should be able to let him smash. And regardless, his testosterone shouldn't take a dive when he realizes that all you have to offer is the cat and he's off to his next venture. When you could learn to be the type of person that keeps a man around long term, who gets you interested. One of the things I think about is that saying of like, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach or something like that. In a way, that saying makes sense because, you're offering something of value. He's coming back. And as he's coming back to eat your food, he's getting to know you, spending time with you, etc. Women don't want to do the things that takes to keep a man's attention beyond just, you should just love me just for me existing. They're looking for cheat codes, like this chick who says, cheat code, find someone that's already stressed. So the reason why this person said find someone that's already stressed is because that bonding chemical that men release is also released in high stressful situations. And you're able to bond with whoever you're experiencing those type of stress situations with, which is also why I think men at war have a strong bond, and men who play in certain teams together have a strong bond. Men who accomplish things together have a strong bond. And so based on that, she's like, cheat code, find someone that's already stressed. So a man that's already stressed. And the woman, the creator, responded and says, men who are chronically stressed without resolving their problems actually will start to release estrogen and testosterone will dip. And she says, yep. And somebody else here wrote, that's why we use lack of sleep to break men at Guantanamo Bay. Bye-bye testosterone, this commenter says. Very interesting. Another comment from another woman says, vasopressin is also released in high stress environments, okay? So if you do some kind of adrenaline or risky fun activity, it can be released and he'll bond. Again, trying to figure out any other sneaky way to get a man to find value in them without actually bringing any real value. Now, here's the problem with this is, are you going to pay for the date? Like, imagine being with the type of man who sets the tone, sets the date, picks the location, what you want to do, and you're somehow going to convince him where you guys are going to go. You can only pull this off with a certain type of guy. I'm trying to look at this from a practical perspective. It's not a good approach at all. And another woman here says, don't they also release it if completing tasks together or conquering a problem together? And the creator says, yes. So based on all these comments of these chicks who are trying to figure out how to get this chemical release, this bonding chemical, vasopressin, from a man, tells me this one thing, and something we all probably already know. A lot of these chicks are dealing with guys who they're trying to lock down to take them seriously, are having casual sex with, because they're not, what they should be saying is, oh, the guy who I'm with right now in his rotation, or I've been trying to get a relationship from him. Because a lot of women you see on Instagram and TikTok, and they look attractive. There's some guy who they're begging for a relationship from out here. Some guy who's not taking them seriously enough. Some guy who they're waiting for him to either pop the question, right, of marriage or introduce a more exclusive relationship. Instead of saying, you know what, I've tricked myself into thinking this is the guy for me for a long-term relationship. Instead of them saying I shouldn't have been so easily accessible sexually, they're now trying to figure out, well, how do I get the same guy to commit? Right. Another comment here from another chick says, cheat code, another cheat code. Let him build furniture, wash your car, take out trash, plan dates, roller coasters with the laughing emoji. Okay. Like a man is just, let him, she says, like a man's just going to be thrilled to do all that type of stuff. The only man who'll be thrilled to do all that is a simp. He'll be happy to do all that, just to be in your presence, just to be in your apartment, scrubbing floors like a slave. Gentlemen, have some self-respect out here. Don't allow yourself to get played like this. Creator responded and says, actually, yes, it does work. But the only problem is the only guy that would do that, they don't want. Here's another comment that says, a man loves the woman he serves on a regular basis. Acts of service is how to know he loves you, not words, ladies. And she responds and says, facts. This also presents another reason why women who oftentimes look at a man who may step out of the relationship. Oh no, yes, we're going there.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Oh shit.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yes, cheating. This also makes a good case for a lot of women out here who try to use cheating, a man stepping out. And I'm not, again, I say this shit and people hear, oh, you're telling men to cheat. No, I'm saying it doesn't mean the same thing. And that is why, even though women argue this fact, they know it deep down inside and they forgive these men out here who they realize, you know what? I'm willing to work through this. It's like we all know innately there's something within us to know. Men know that when a woman steps out and another man gets those cheeks, he puts in senseless work, just clapping your girl to smithereens. That your girl now belongs to that man. He owns her to an extent, right? To a degree. But if it's the other way around, this is why I say a man could almost care less, especially if it's like some one-time thing and he's never going to see her again. And he says, listen, you know, I don't plan to do this again. I really do love you. I want to work this out. A lot of women can see it in his eyes and say, you know what, you actually do mean that. If she got into some type of plane crash or got hit by a semi truck, he will sleep like a baby at night. And to women who don't accept reality and they're saying this is effed up, if he could, he would, and they think life is this fairy tale and there's no order or structure to things, they're sitting there thinking, well, you're a horrible person because you're like that. No, he's a man. He's a man. Another comment here says, testosterone dips and so do they. That's hilarious. The laughing emojis, and she responds and says, kinda, yes. That's the creator. Here's another comment that says, how do you build the vasopressin bonds within him though? Like through physical hobbies together? And somebody else here says, in the pursuit and truly earning you over time. Think about that. This lady gets it. She commented, in the pursuit and truly earning you over time. Meaning you can't be too easy. It's like nature's set up for 304s to fail is what it sounds like to me. And people argue, well, just because I gave it up that easy doesn't take away from my worth. On a chemical level, it sounds like it does. Sounds like it does on a scientific level. And so it sounds like making him work and earn cheeks over time and is what sets you up for a better position. But I think the most important thing any woman can do is have the qualities even after the actual sex that keep a man still interested. Actually being pleasant, nurturing, that whole like men are trash, that you're not a slave, you're not gonna cook, you're not gonna clean, you're not gonna make his life easier, you're not bringing any value to him, and that S word, submit, all that. But I get it. You don't drink coffee. You rather do shit like this chick right here who says large amounts of salt/sodium cause them to release vasopressin. Go to a ramen bar. Also, something like an escape room. Hilarious. Another comment here says, basically stay spontaneous, keep them on their toes, stress them out a little, have them buy you stuff and invest. You literally can, I'm out. I'm done, man. Guys, I'm curious, as always. Comment down below. Appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.